Chill or Be Chilled by TotalSkeletonTrash. Chapter 12, in which you explain the rules of shotgun. Once it's agreed that you're going to go pick up the boy's stuff, the tension drains slightly. Papyrus unballs from his panicked crouch and looks guiltily down at you. Human, you don't need to let me stay. You're astonished for a moment. You didn't have the faintest idea that Papyrus could speak at a normal volume. Undyne seems similarly shocked, though Alphys looks unsurprised. Sans is staring at his brother, a true look of concern on his face. Sans is usually wrong about things. He gives a tiny, watery laugh. But I think he's right that I should not impose on you, friend. You shake your head quickly. Papyrus, you're so nice to worry about that, you say. But I promise you're welcome to stay. If Sans thinks that you guys should be here... You falter and look at Sans, trying to say this right. God, it's hard. You're feeling like two people in one body. One, the bitter rationalist, is saying you barely know these people, that it's beyond insane to just let them move in and start dictating what you should or shouldn't do. There's a freedom to being on your own, and you've always been reluctant to let that go, especially for romantic partners. You can be honest with yourself. You know Sans is interested, when he's not being angry or looking so worried at least. Your very abbreviated history with dating humans has left you anxious, however. Humans always want something from you, and you're used to having almost nothing to give them. Why should monsters be any different? And, well, it's always just been you and Ghost. You could, you think, squirming just for thinking it, cut your losses. Get out of here. Find a place where your friends don't attract so many enemies who are willing to use you as a message, all by the simple method of not having friends again. But then there's that other part of you, the one that sounds nothing like that little voice in your head. All this one is saying is that you're honestly terrified. They were in your house. They'd wrecked something that meant a lot to you, and they were doing it to try and force you into losing your new friends. That wakes up the old defiant drive inside you, the same one that made a 10-year-old kid figure out how to survive on her own. You're scared, and you don't want to be, and you're furious, though doing a better job of hiding it than Sans. How fucking dare they tell you what your life is supposed to be, who you're supposed to care for? Are you really going to let them ruin what feels like the best thing that's happened in the past 12 years? You can practically see two timelines spreading out in front of you, based on what you say right now. Either A, these new friends are always going to be around because they think it'll protect you, or B, they'll leave because if they can't protect you, they sure as hell aren't going to endanger you by drawing attention to you. You're selfish, that tiny angry voice screams. You're so selfish. But he makes you feel safe, protected, cared for, wanted, not for your stuff or your money or lack thereof, or even your body, anything like that. Wanted just because you're you. Actually, they all do. It's been such a short time already, but you have totally failed your usual method of coping when it came to friendly strangers. You forgot to brace yourself for losing them. In the end, the choice seems obvious. If Sans thinks you guys should be here, I think you should be here. We can all watch out for each other. You can use the whole house. You can have as many rooms as you want. Spend as much time in the kitchen. I promise. Papyrus gives Sans another guilty look. Paps, bud, I'm not gonna leave you. Sans says quietly. Never, ever. I wasn't gonna, I promise. We stick together, right? And Reed says she wants you here. I do. You agree quickly. So we'll stay here for a while. It'll be fun. You were just saying how much you like it here, and now your big bro isn't being a downer anymore, right? He says, pulling a face. Papyrus straightens and looks down at Sans. I do not like it when you get like that, Sans, he says, still very quietly. It isn't good. You could hurt someone. Sans lets out a tired, half-crazed laugh. It's okay, Paps. Me and you are going to be around and make sure that nobody needs to get hurt. I need you, pal. You're the expert guard. You gotta show me the ropes. If you are certain that's the case... Papyrus seems buoyed. Well, then we should hurry to get all my battle figurines and my books and my computer and my coolest shirts. Undyne and Alphys leave, albeit reluctantly. Alphys says they're coming back. She just needs to hit the university lab to get some stuff she's been working on. Undyne grins tightly, almost threateningly, at Sans before she gets in her car. You'd better keep her in one piece, bonehead, she says. This is our fault. Undyne, don't you dare. You start glaring at her. Did you trash my car? No? Then it's not your fault. You say, a little of your impotent rage at the situation lending gravity to these words. Sans moves over to place a restraining hand on your back, the little shit, like he hadn't been about to commit bigot genocide 10 minutes ago. You glance down at his arm, and he quickly removes it. Oh, that hadn't been exactly the desired result, but... Undyne was looking guiltily at you, and you decide to focus on that. I just wish it hadn't happened, she mutters. You nod. You're pretty sure that's universal. You'll keep your phone on and with you? Promise. You sigh. Guess I'm hitching a ride with you boys, huh? You manage a smile and nod at the shiny red convertible, feeling a pang of loss as you look at it. Papyrus nods quickly. Yes! Soon you will see how well the great Papyrus drives. Gulp. That sounds ominous. All the same, you slide into the back seat and take a deep breath, waving at Undyne through the window. Papyrus hops in the driver's seat, and Sans hesitates at the side of the car before opening the rear door and sitting next to you. Sans, they're not going to be able to hurt me in the back of Papyrus's car, you say reasonably. You can sit shotgun with your brother if you want. Shotgun? The ridges on his skull furrow. Oh, up front. I guess it's like a getaway car thing, you know, like the driver drives and the passenger uses the shotgun. You trail off and groan, slumping and resting your head against the window. It was probably indelicate to remind Sans that humans made such a habit of hurting each other that even the front seat of a car was given a violent nickname. You can't be thinking too highly of us humans right now, huh? You mutter. Sans looks at you in surprise. Not half as badly as you must be thinking of us, he says. Well, of me. Bro, you know the way to get home? Papyrus nods eagerly and turns the engine over, driving down your long driveway, through the gate you never ever bothered to close, and out onto the winding road towards downtown. You barely notice, busy thinking about what Sans had just said. I'm not thinking badly of you. I mean, you scared me a little, but... A shadow falls over Sans' face. I know. I try not to use it in front of humans anymore. I just... Not because of the magic. God, nothing like that, you assure him quickly. Magic doesn't freak me out. I mean, I grew up around the stuff. Like, it's the only reason I have a home. The number of dinner conversations I had to listen to about the barrier as a kid, not to mention the trips out into the field they dragged me on, and that was the barrier. You just had to get like 20 feet away from it to feel how strong it was. I mean, that was pure, solid magic. I'm sure you're strong as hell, Sans, but even you weren't strong enough to take it down on your own. Sans has to smile at that. Yeah, I had to enlist a 7-year-old to help. He drawls, but he looks considerably cheered. So then, what? He looks over at you, and you groan and flick his shoulder. That you'd get, I don't know, locked up or something, or get hurt, or do something you'd regret later. You mutter. Babe, locking me up isn't exactly a concern. Sans drawls confidently. You arch an eyebrow. Well, babe, you still can't go around mauling every jerk in town, even if they did mess with my car. You say, trying to impart the seriousness of this. Sans hangs his head, but before he does, you can swear you see a delighted twinkle in his eye. Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening. If you liked it, hit the like button to let me know and subscribe to see what I make next. Links in the description lead to the original fic posted on AO3, as well as my Patreon and Ko-fi. If you like my stuff, please consider supporting me. Every little bit helps. Lastly, if you have a request for a recording, whether a one-shot or a series, let me know in the comments. I also do commissions, details of which are on my Patreon. So keep in touch. Bye!